video.
Okay.
Okay?
Just leave it going.
Okay, hold on.
How do you turn it off?
Dad and Joseph at the Zija convention.
Okay, go.
Isn't they cute? And Jan over there taking notes.
And this lady saying hi.
And everybody saying hi. And okay.
Okay, here.
So, yeah.
To turn it
if
off?
you need to pause or stop, and then you can always hit the red button to start it again.
Okay, here you go.
Have Jan help you. I think she'll be okay.
Okay.
She's a pathology resident right now at University of Utah.
Okay. What?
Wow. Okay. All I can really, I just got these tanning lights on me, and everything else is dark, except for you guys. I can see the silhouettes here. So, can't we do like just a little bit more light? It's okay. I mean, it's kind of like a rock and roll. No, the two guys I'm going to be introducing, they are the rock stars that make me look good. Well, welcome everybody to day 2 of our breakout sessions. And of course, following these, we will be moving to the beginning of the convention itself with our gold reception and then acknowledgement tonight for all of our team members. I'd like to welcome, and more importantly, for the people that have already done that here, because most everybody has done that here, the more important aspect is how do you help the new people that you brought in duplicate and teach them to teach others to duplicate. And we've got 2 gentlemen that will be articulating that from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then at 3 o'clock, we have a three-way call skit or live three-way call training with Fred Holmes, Doug Stroop, Chip Buck, and Brandon Hayes. And you will be on the floor rolling more than likely, because we'll see ourselves in that skit, right? And then the final speaker today will be our newest Crown Diamond Elite, Joel McNish. And Joel will be speaking on attitude. And if you haven't met Joel, when you can see his attitude, you'll understand why we chose him for attitude. And so Joel will finish off today at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And so it's my pleasure, and it's a beautiful thing, I will tell you, it's a wonderful thing to be able to be an MC and just invite team leaders from the organization, people that are on the team, to conduct training and instruction, and to be able to just sit back and enjoy it. Because I think all of us, certainly myself back in December of 1989, when I got involved in this industry, come on guys! We got about 100 microphones so we can like... Those guys must be doing the edit. That must be the Amway meeting or something. The Amway meeting next door. It's okay, right? There's always a little So back in 1989, when I got started, I was sitting in the audience, and my thought was, wouldn't it be great to be in a position to have a large organization and leadership, part of that organization in my city and in my country. And here we are some years later, and now that has occurred not just in Canada, but throughout North America and in many other parts of the world. We had our international reception last night, and it was extraordinary. We had representation from every corner of the earth, and it was a beautiful thing. So it is only the beginning, much more to come. And so without further ado, let's get started on how to get started. And that's what this first session will be about. I'm going to be bringing up a former, well, he's actually, once a U.S. Marine, you're always a U.S. Marine, right? So, let's say former U.S. Marine. U.S. Marine, also corporate, from the corporate world, one of our, not quite the youngest Black Diamond, but certainly has major achievements in his 30s. This is his first experience in network distribution. Never been involved in network marketing, and his first training at a convention. And so he's done some spectacular things. Understand there are only 25 Black Diamonds and above out of upwards of 200,000 people in the community. So it's a major achievement. To help me welcome, to get things kicked off, Mr. Kevin Brazel.
Awesome, guys. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Let's give him another roaring round. So the product really spoke to me quickly, and I said, man, I didn't even need a fancy story, guys. I was in fact, as far as reason and business and model. But after I heard 3 minutes, so when all was up, I said, hey, we're going to do this, but, that increase and that relief, hey, if you're sitting on fire, that much more. So, we go in there, and our first year in the guys, so we told you this, but I want you to know, it's all social system, it's all across the duplication in the best place. So before I go into this part, I want you to say, if they can do it, we can do it. Look at your neighbor. Say, if they can do it, we can do it. Well, Paul, I saw some simple things right out the gate as this was introduced to me. I didn't say those things, and 1 year into this, it'll take my income. 6 months later, it'll replace my wife. My wife was done first and then mine. She was able to stay at home with her 3 kids, be a stay-at-home mom, homeschool the children, travel more, go on mission trips, vacation, have fun with these people, and be a good village, right? So it's all about having something simple that works. Simple, dependable system. So what did I do right out of the gate? Did I go out and tell people? No. I just shared it, and I think this is So my follow-up is covering a little bit in more detail. So I'm sorry, duplicated system, and I'm going to right into it, okay? So here's what I did right out of the gate, and it's you're going to hear a lot more about this. Here you go. Say ABC. Say 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, this is nothing new. This is nothing new from the people, from the system that we have out there in the university. It's all a reflection of it. It's just something I just used in my head and shared with people, and it did very well. So if you write this down, you can do what's wrong with it, but it works. Because this is not about selling the meter, right? This is about duplicating a simple process that anyone can do. So you do it anyone can do it. If you're doing something special, guess what? David Moses is going to run out of contact someday. Jeffrey Rasmussen's going to expire someday, right? We run out. So you want to duplicate, you want to leave a legacy for your family and a legacy for your team and do something simple that everyone can do. So when it comes to the basics, kids, right? In military ethics, we use the word that we don't want like the kids to repeat. So keep it simple, silly, or keep it simple. However you want to say it, but keep it simple. If what you're doing, if a fifth grader can't duplicate it, then you're doing it wrong. Every time I enroll someone, I'm sharing this out in daily life, like Mary Dalton said. Don't go out in the world and do this. Simply do it while you're out. Now you're intentional. You're making a living. You're getting out there and sharing this, going after certain people, right? But you're not chasing people. But you're also just keeping your eyes and ears open and being a better listener. That's what you want to do. You want to be a chameleon and listen for people, listen for their problems, because we offer a solution. But after you walk through that exposure, after you walk through that follow-up, and you have a new distributor, here's what I do with the new distributor to teach them the system. And obviously, so what you say this? If I'm teaching and walking through the system and duplicating a process as I share it with David, if I share, hey, commit for 3 months if your people are product users. Have them give you a verbal, eye-to-eye, hey man, you're going to stay on this for 3 months. We have a 90% reorder rate for people who use it correctly for 3 months. Are you committed? Yes. And if they're in the business, have them commit to their first 2. And then have them commit to their why. Fill out that fast start training document in your back office. And then they're going to fill out their why they want to do this. So if your why's not strong enough, or your why's got to be strong enough to make you cry, or it's not strong enough. Okay? So it can't be about money, money, money. It's got to be about something stronger. So find your why. Why do you want to do this? Why am I not going to quit when broke Uncle Joe and negative Nancy, pessimist Pete, sour Steve say, man, did you get one of those things? You know, that's enough to make people quit. So help your new person commit to their why, so you can hold them accountable. If they go through some of those trials and tribulations, they cause people to quit. Say, well, man, you said you're going to do this for your family. You said you're going to do this for your wife. I wanted my wife to be able to stay home with our 3 kids and not be sick every day at daycare and so on. And I wanted to do a lot more in life, so I had some strong reasons why, and I still do. I keep shifting it. Got my why in my back pocket right here. I don't want to mess with my microphone, so it's in my back pocket. So have your why staring you in the mirror. Have your why in your car with you, in your back pocket. Look at it every day so you can hold yourself accountable. And then the last part of commit is plug in. Plug in, okay? If you just plug in to this simple, duplicatable system that anyone can do, then you're going to win. It takes time and application, right? But you're going to talk to people. Some are going to get started with you first week. When you tell them about it correctly, people will get started with you 1 week, 1 month, and 1 year from the day that you tell them about it correctly. Danny Days and Emerald here, he's my brother, your brother-in-law. It took him 2.5 years to finally take a look at the facts, to look at the information. So I had to be there, right? I had to commit. I had to be there for him when he was ready. So if you commit, your people will too, and then you'll be there when your people are ready as you go out there and set the world on fire with this. ABC 1, 2, 3. Is that pretty simple? Because I'm going to turn this over to David Moses now. I appreciate you guys letting me share a little bit today. This is a very simple business, and if you just duplicate just this, I'm going to let these guys cover more about duplication, then you will win. Does that sound good, David? I appreciate you having me up here, David.
Competitive. I do want to send a message to our partners next door. Give it up for Kevin Brazel. And after all, his sponsor and upline is over there. So, wonderful. Next person I want to bring up is someone I've known for a long time. I've had the honor and privilege of working with Phil Jacobson prior to Zija International. We traveled the world together. We spent almost 2 months in Australia together, covering a good part of the country, training. We've done universities together in another company. We have a Zija University, but we had another format of a university where we did a two-day, 16-hour training on every single aspect of our business on a Saturday and Sunday. And we did that for many years together in a previous company. There were 6 of us that were corporate trainers. And it took me 3 years of follow-up, 3 full years of follow-up to catch Phil at the right moment in time to join Zija. He joined in, I believe, December of 2010 and rose all the way up to Distributor Leadership Council member, 1 of 6, and or 1 of 8. And Phil last year was the Distributor of the Year last year, and has built a fantastic organization in Canada, other parts of the world. He's a black diamond. He's right on the edge of Diamond Elite. Fantastic trainer, and you'll learn a lot about how to keep it simple and get your business off to a fast start. So help me welcome Black Diamond Phil Jacobson.
Oh man, it is great being the person coming coming up on the stage when we're trying to compete with Chris over there. You guys are cheering, you know? It's a great place for me to be. How are you all doing today? Great. Good. So are you ready to do some work?
Yep.
Me too. We do have to work. This is network marketing, right? Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, I've got to tell you a little bit about David Moses. Because he has been a friend of mine for a while. He's the master distributor. He's the top income earner in this entire company. And when you've got a guy like that who gives you a call and says, Phil, you need to take a look at something. Most sane people would go, okay, I'll have a look at it. Well, I didn't really do that for 3 years. And can you imagine David Moses phoning me and saying, you wouldn't believe how well it's going? You know what I was saying? I'm really happy for you, David. And he would phone me back. You've got to seriously take a look at this. Yeah, that's, you know, it's just not me at the moment. A lot of you would call people you think are going to be phenomenal, and you don't follow up. David Moses is one of the best people I have ever met in the industry. I've been in the industry for 25 years. He is better at following up and keeping in touch than anyone I've ever met, which is the reason why I'm standing here. And publicly, Dave, I'd like to say thanks very much. Because, boy, if you'd given up on me and just not bothered to call me back, I'm not sure what I'd be doing right now. I'd probably still be enjoying myself, but man, I tell you, this has really been a ride. This has been a very, very exciting company to be part of. As we were getting going, the company now has built a platform where you guys can dance on it for the next few years. There is really nothing that you cannot accomplish if you just follow a few basics. And Kevin did a fantastic job of just laying out, this is a really pretty simple thing to do. And it's not easy. I'll be the first one to tell you, this is not an easy business. It's not for the faint of heart. It's very easy to have a job. Well, you'll be saying, well, hang on a second, you don't know where I work. It's not necessarily easy. Well, you know, at least you don't have to make any decisions. You get up, you go to work. Someone's always giving you a paycheck. You put in your hard work, you put in your hours, you do all that kind of stuff. The minute you cross the line and now become self-employed, you have to employ yourself. That means you have to put yourself to work every day. And how many of you have ever been in a position where you didn't feel like getting up and going to work? The curse of this industry is that, you know what? When you feel like you don't want to go to work, you don't have to. The problem is you don't get paid. And that's not exciting. I tried that for a little bit. I didn't like it. I've lived life with money and without it, and I personally find it's a lot more fun with the money. So I was very excited when 25 years ago I bumped into a fellow who was making $90,000 a month in network marketing. I didn't necessarily believe him at the time. In fact, that was back in the days where he could show you his paycheck. So after I saw that, the thing that kind of threw me off is he'd been a deckhand on a tuna fishing boat. And he was doing this on the side, so he obviously went full-time with network marketing. And I was, at that point in time, making $1,500 a month as a light bulb salesman. I used to call myself a lighting consultant. I didn't know what that meant, but I thought it sounded really good. Put that on my business card. And I knew I couldn't make as much money as him. That was a limiting factor I had back then, is what I thought I could do. But I thought if I could make even 10% of what this guy's making, that would be $9,000 a month. That would be unbelievable. He said, Phil, I'll show you a very simple system. You just got to follow it and do it. And I said, oh, okay, sure, I'll do that. He said, no, I'm serious. This is not going to be complicated. I was glad to hear that, because complicated things were not my strong suit. And he said, if you will follow something that's so mind-numbingly simple, but go to work every day, just do it. Even if you don't feel like it, even if it's not going well, don't worry about it. Just go and do it. If you will do that, I'll promise you, you can literally live life unlimited. You can go and do whatever you want. And it turned out what he told me was absolutely true. Now, that was 25 years ago. I had the good fortune of answering David's call and getting started in this company. At that point, I'd already learned the system. I already knew what it was. So you can imagine if someone gave you a brand new car that you'd never driven before, but you'd been driving for 25 years, would you be okay at driving down the market? You'd be able to jump in, right? This is yes. Okay. You'd be able to jump in the car and drive it, even if you'd never driven that model before. Let's say you're a GM person, you've always driven GM cars. Someone gives you a Ford. You've never You've never driven a Ford before. Why do you think you'd be able to drive it? You know how to drive. So after 25 years, I knew how to do this business. I knew all I had to do was sit down and follow a simple, duplicatable system that revolved around me not doing the talking. And that's what your system has got to revolve around, you not talking. And that's where the problem comes in, because we all like to talk, right? How many out here like to talk? It's fun, isn't it? It just doesn't pay well in this business. And I know some of you will say, well, you haven't heard me talk. And that may be true. Still doesn't pay very well in business, I'm sorry. And that's why Kevin was talking about the system that we've got. The system does revolve around you not talking. And that gives everybody the ability to be successful. Because if all your job is finding somebody and letting them have a look at some information, and then once they have that information, if they had any questions at all, letting them talk to somebody else who would answer the question, how difficult is that to do? It's not difficult. Anyone can do that. The problem becomes, you know how people say a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing? It is, because once you've learned a little bit, you don't just want to, let me explain this, I think I'm pretty good at this. I'll explain it. And so you explain it, and you do a perfect job, and the person looks at you like you're from Mars and goes, I'm not interested. And you're thinking, why? I thought you were an intelligent person. Doesn't do well for relationships when you start that way. But it's a very, very simple business. All your job is to go and get a couple of people. So what I want to do is just draw a quick picture here for you. There we go. That's right. Okay, here's you. Yeah, you can read that, right? That's you. Okay? You've got to go and find this person and this person. Person number one, person number two. And of course, you can put person number one over here, person number two over here. There's some options. But basically, that's what you've got to do. You've got to build a group of distributors, and you put them all together in two teams. Two teams. That's all you're doing. Now, why does Zija pay you a lot of money? Well, here's why. Zija wants to sell product. But they don't advertise. What they're wanting to do is use you to move all the product. So your job, if you want to make a lot of money in this business, is you have to build a big, large group of people. Big as you can, if you want to make a lot of money. Now, if you don't care about making a lot of money, you can have a little tiny group. We'll pay you a little bit of money. Where does the money come from? Unfortunately, you're not paid by your good looks. I was never really too worried about that. But we're not paid for anything other than, can we put a big group of people together that, well, what are these people going to do? We put the group of people together, and Zija sells them the product. They buy the product from Zija. But Zija says, well, we don't know where these people came from. Well, they came from me. Okay, Phil, thanks very much. We'll give you a little bit of the profit that we got from selling these people the product, because you effectively did the work of advertising for us. You were responsible for this group of people being here. So that is our entire business model. You getting two people, when the picture comes back up again, which it will at some point. See, told you. It's a simple business. The entire group you've got, you're probably sitting there going, well, there's got to be more to it than that. Not really. So the very confounding thing that I had when I got started in the business, this guy showed me the system, told me what to do. He says, look, if anyone asks you a question, even if you know the answer, you're not allowed to talk about it. You've got to let them talk to me, and I'll give them the answer. I said, yeah, but what if I like talking and I know the answer? He said, I don't care. I said, well, can I do it my way? He said, well, yeah, okay, you can. I said, great. I said, do you want to make any money? Okay. So I have to not talk and let the people talk to you. Is that right? He said, yeah. And that's all I did. First year in the business, made $120,000. And I'm not trying to tell you that to impress you at all. To be perfectly honest, I'm telling you that because it still really impresses me. I mean, I was a lighting consultant making $1,500 a month. And inside of 30 or 45 days, I was making so much money on the side that I literally was faced with the problem that I couldn't afford to go to work. It was taking too much of my time, and I was only getting $1,500. So So I had to quit so I could keep making more money on the side. True story. At the end of the year, people said to me, "Oh my goodness, Phil, you've done very well. What will you do?" And I was a little bit perplexed by that question, because I said, well, we just have to build a group. You're not allowed to do the talking. You introduce people that you want to have as part of your group, do some information, and if they've got questions, you're going to talk to that person. And when they get in, you get the money. And I said, well, it can't be that simple. I went, really? Well, I don't know what else to do. So I just kept doing the same thing. Next year, second year in the business, $264,000. I couldn't even believe where the money was coming from. Why? Because I started to make so much money. The only reason I was making a lot of money is the size of my group had doubled the following year. Do you know why? What happens if you've got 2 people, and each going to get 2 people? The size of your group doubles, right? What do you think will happen to your income? It will double. People say, how did you do that? Follow the system. I always used to get confused. After a while, this becomes a little bit like trying to give a lesson on how do you put on your pants. It's quite simple. Take your left leg, slide it in, then the right leg. Oh, hang on a second. Like, I think I did it wrong. I put my right leg in first. Is that all right? Yeah, you can still get your pants on, right leg. Should I sponsor on the left or the right? Either side. Which side do you want? I'm not sure. Figure it out. It's not rocket science. One on the left, one on the right. If you've got more people on the left, you know what I'd suggest? Put some people on the right. The right gets ahead. This is tricky. You might need to write this down. I put more people on the left. And I try and balance it out. And I make more money. And then David says, Phil, can you get up and explain this? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure what to say. Just tell people what you do. Okay. So here I am. I hope you're enjoying it. And you're getting your money's worth. So that's what we're doing. So really, what do I do when I go out and I'm prospecting people? Because you know what? You're all going to prospect people. We have to. This is you've got to build an organization of big numbers. You might say, well, Phil, no, I got in it for the nutrition. And you know what, Doug? I don't want you to get me wrong. The nutrition aspect of this is incredibly important. Absolutely. But, see this business model, how you've got to get 2 people? If you compare that to you going out there yourself and just finding, hang on a second, I've got to find the right end. Here we go. If this was you over here, and you just went out and found one person to sell a product to, and then you went out and found another person to sell the product to, and then you went out and found another person to sell the product to, and another person, you'd be building 1 plus 1. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. You can build a really good organization doing that. But if I'm building over here, and my methodology is 2 times 2, who's going to build the biggest group the quickest? Me. And is that why? Is it because I'm so talented and good looking? Yeah. But I mean, no, it's because I'm using a better model. 2 times 2. Now, you've got to remember, all the people that I'm bringing in, they're all customers anyways. They're all using the product. All Zija wants is me to build a large team of people that it can sell the product to. Does it matter if I'm a large salesperson? If I can sell? No, it doesn't matter. I've had people come up to me and say, well, Phil, hang on a second, you've got to be a believer in the product, and it's got to work for you before you can be a successful business person. That's not true. Now, obviously it helps if you're a believer in the product. You should be a believer in the product. I use the products every single day myself. Some of them I can't use. But not everyone here uses every single product every single day. Is there anyone here that uses every single product every single day? None of them. See, you don't have to always get a phenomenal result with every single product all the time. If I owned a McDonald's hamburger restaurant, would I have to eat McDonald's hamburgers every day to have a successful business enterprise? No, I could actually own the enterprise, never eat a Big Mac in my life, and still make a lot of money with a McDonald's hamburger restaurant. Now, obviously, I want to use the products because we've got the world's best products. But if you go running out there every day trying to convince people that that they should be buying it. There's nothing wrong with that, but it'll take a lot of your time. How many of you got so much free time that you just don't know what to do with yourself? You just got free time all over the place. Probably nobody, because we're all busy. So we've got to show people something that's so simple that anyone can do it. And you know what? The reason this works is because if you're not allowed to talk, I'll promise you, everybody can do that. We've all got the God-given ability to not talk. Some of us need a little practice, but I mean, we've all got that ability to zip up and not talk. So our job is to get the information out to people and run them through a system. You're going to say, well, what kind of system? I don't know, third-party documentation, which is what? Anything that you're not talking about yourself. Could be a website, could be a video, could be a brochure, could be a PBR, could be any kind of meeting. This is certainly third-party documentation. If you had invited someone here with you, and they were sitting next to you in this audience, everything I'm saying is third-party documentation to them. You're not having to say anything. Anything where you're not talking is third-party documentation. That's what you're looking for. And everybody cannot talk. So everybody can do this. I want you to say, I can do this.
I can do this.
Right. You can. You just got to believe it. So just get started. I would suggest put one on the left, one on the right. You can put one on the right and then the other one on the left. That's okay. And then what you do is you follow the system. Now then, when you're following the system, this is what will start to happen to you. These are playing cards. Right? Your prospect list is just exactly like this deck of cards. Oops. I've got some slippery friends. That's all right. Why do your family think you're the slippery friend? So after I run through this whole entire process, sometimes I'm going to bump into a person. I run through the whole process, and I run through the entire process, and what I'm looking for is actually an ace. I'm looking for an ace. Now, what is an ace? An ace is simply a person that I happen to catch at exactly the right time. Doesn't mean they're a superstar. It means there's someone that's ready today to make a decision to start a business. Now, every single person sitting in this room today has people that you know personally living in your town. They know you. They are ready to get into Zija today. You know what your problem is? You don't know who they are. So many problems. Now, how on earth would you find out who of your friends, acquaintances, people that you know, are ready to start in Zija this week? Because every single person here, and I'll promise you, there's at least 2 people that you know. If you were to write down a list of everyone you knew, there was at least 2 people in there that were ready to start today. The only reason they didn't start is you didn't call them. That's why they didn't start. They were ready, but you didn't call. So you go through the entire system. You're looking for an ace. That's a person that's ready to get going. So I go through my system and I turn up that 10. The obvious question is, what went wrong? Answer, nothing went wrong. Just that person wasn't ready. I have been told that, life is kind of like a deck of cards. Human relationships, kind of like a deck of cards. I mean, you start off, all you're really looking for, you 2 hearts and a diamond, right? Unfortunately, what happens is after a while you end up looking for a club and a spade. Sometimes. Don't quote me on that. Happily married man. Anyways, so now I go through the entire system again. I'm not talking. What do I say? Typically what I say to people is, listen, you keeping your options open when it comes to making money. That's all I say. I just say the same thing over and over. I dress it up a little bit like, hi, how are you? How are you doing? They're having a conversation, I don't go, hang on a second. You keep your options open when it comes to making money. I mean, it has to fit into the conversation, obviously, right? But that's typically all I'm saying. And you know what a lot of people tell me? No. You know what I do? Nothing. I just move on. I go to the next person. Hey, you keeping your options open when it comes to making money? Sometimes people say yes. And then they ask me what I'm doing. And that's typically when you fall in the chasm. Start explaining all about the wonders of a ringgit. Oh, let me tell you the stories. Oh, it's wonderful. It saved this person and did this and this person. And you know what? I'm not taking anything away from the incredible things that Moringa will do for you. It will do some incredible things. The problem is, unfortunately, most people are more money motivated than they are health motivated. And that doesn't mean that there aren't people that are health motivated. There certainly are. But if it comes right down in your life to, should I eat healthy this month or should I pay my Visa bill? What are you going to do?
Pay your Visa bill.
Well, you got to pay your Visa bill. Isn't that right?
Yep.
This is yes. That's what's going to happen. Most people will say, look, I know some people will say, well, look, I'm not money motivated. Liar, liar, pants on fire, say that. Now, some people are only money motivated for a couple $100 a week. And they're money motivated for that $200 a week. If you don't think you're money motivated, just go tell your boss at work, you know what? I had a bit of a revelation on the weekend. I'm not money motivated. I love this place so much, I'll just come in here and work for free. Your boss will be delighted. You'll get a raise because he doesn't pay you anything anyway. Everyone's money motivated. Some for $200 a month, some for $2,000 a month, some for $20,000 a month, some for $20,000 a week. Some for thousands of dollars a day. But that's when it comes down to you've got to decide what you want. And if you don't know what you want, who cares about making the money? Because you don't know what you're going to do with it anyway. So you actually have to finish before you start. What I mean by that is, if you don't know what you want in the first place, why bother build a business? What's the point of building a business unless you're interested in just getting healthy? All the motivation in the world will come when you know exactly what you want. So this is really what it is. So I go through, keep your options open when it comes to making money. I run through my entire thing. Now a lot of people would just sit and cry about that, like I've done this twice now. Phil told me at a conference that I had to do this. I've done it twice. It hasn't worked. Oh, I hate that guy. Did it again, 3 times. See, I told you it wouldn't work. Stupid system. You know, you get up there, they get you all going during the convention. You get all excited. Get home. You phone somebody. You run through the system. Yeah. I'm going to take a week and really think about this. Okay, yeah, I won't quit. You're right. I'll call one more person. What is it about me? I should be sitting in the corner and humming. I'm going to take a special class. I'm going to start reading some heavy-duty books. Well, why don't you go and call somebody else? Okay, Phil, I feel much better. I'm going to call somebody else. But that wouldn't work. Okay, I'm going to get excited. I'm going to call 3 people in a row. How did I do that? Why is this person so interested? And I said exactly the same thing. This other person wasn't interested. How'd it come? You found your ace. That's the one. You've got 2 people sitting at home right now that are aces. The only reason they're not joining your business is you didn't call them yet. That's all it comes down to. I could inspire each of you to build an incredible good business this month, hands down, no problem at all, that would make you thousands of dollars a month. All I'd have to tell you is that Ken Brailsford is passing a resolution this weekend that you're only allowed to sponsor for the next 30 days, and then after that you're done. All your residual income has to come from the people you can enroll in 30 days. Would any of you now need a class on how to sponsor people? No. You would have some motivation. You would understand that I'm going to get going. You would start going through your list looking for more aces. Why does Phil Jacobson become a black diamond? Because he does this more times. They go, oh, I found another one. Oh, that Phil, he's so lucky he's got 2 aces already. I tried. I called 3 people. I didn't even find one. Basically, what it comes down to. You just have to, you know, Phil Jacobson gets just as depressed when he finds his jokers. You've got them as well as I do, right? I get just as depressed, but you know what? I don't talk about it. I just keep doing this until I find another one. And then when I do find another one, I make sure to introduce that person to everybody. I say, look at this person. I found an ace. How come you're so lucky finding all the aces, Phil? It's because I'm doing all the work. Someone says, well, you know what? I'm so fired up now, I'm going to call 1 person a month until I find one. You'll die of old age. Just get on with it. You Yeah, but you gotta put in my left leg first or my right leg. No, I don't care. Just put the pants on and get going. Right? Don't go and take seminars on zippers versus buttons and, you know. It doesn't matter. Just get on with it. Very, very simple to do. So just to kind of wrap things up, hopefully I'm making a little bit of sense. Am I making a little bit of sense here? Okay. So what I'd like to do is ask for one brave volunteer to come up and just help me out with something. Is someone willing to come up and be a brave volunteer? You have to come right up on the stage here with me. Okay, come on. There you go. You know, the money is where the work is, right? So you've got to get stuck in and do some work. Can I have that camera back over here? See what that is? Thanks for coming up. And what I'd like you to do, because I mean, it takes something to get out of your seat and come running up here. It pays well. Okay, what I'd like you to do is, I'm just going to. It's yours. It's a done deal. You don't have to do anything else. Well, hang on a second, so there is something else. But this is my deck of cards. Now, I've gone through my deck of cards, and what is your name? Sean. And you are from? Portland, Oregon. Let's give Sean from Portland, Oregon. I found Sean from Portland, Oregon, because she was one of the people in my deck of cards. She was one of my aces. Okay? And I just went through the routine, and she said, okay, Phil, I'm in. I'd like to do this. So you know what I'm doing? What I'm going to do with Sean here is, when we have a look at this, all we do to grow our business is, you've got, if I can have the camera back on the page here again, you've all got a list of people that you know. Okay? Sean's one of the people that was on my list. Here she is. Okay? She got started. She was an ace. So I'm obviously got a list. I'm going to work through that list. But now that I've got Sean, I'm going to teach Sean exactly what to do. I'm going to tell her about the system. I'm going to say, don't talk. When you find someone that's interested, you're not allowed to talk. You let me do the explaining. Even if you know the answer, you're not allowed to talk. And so what I've got here is another deck of cards. Okay? Now, do you know what this deck of cards is? This deck of cards is Sean's list. That's her prospect list. You've all heard about memory joggers, right? Okay. Do you know that of everybody that you know, some of the people are going to be interested in getting the business? All of the people that Sean's got, how many aces are there in a deck of cards? 4. So you know that she's got 4 aces in that deck. Problem is, she just doesn't know who they are, right? So Sean, I'd like you to go down here, start with this gentleman sitting right here. Or actually, let's go right over to the far side there. I want you to give just give each person a card. Okay? Now, you'll have to come up behind me here again. There's no stairs. I don't want to be responsible for an accident. So if you could just hand out people a card, one card. Now, when you get an ace, I want you to stand up and stay standing. And when we get to the 4th ace, then we'll carry on. Okay? So what we're doing at the moment, Sean's going out there. She's handing out cards. Now, see how quickly she's handing out cards? What would be a better way for her to get to 4 aces quicker? Hand them out faster, right? Oh, she's already found an ace. There's one ace. Stay standing there. Okay, she's off to a great start in this business, right? She's prospecting. She's going, oh, she's found another ace already. Well done. Keep going, keep going. When you find an ace, stand up. How come the aces aren't all in a row? We never know where the aces are in a deck of cards, do we? You never know. But you have to go through the motions every day. Hey, there's 3 aces on the first row. I can't even believe it. This is great. Okay, we've got 4 aces. Fantastic. Okay, guys, can I have the 4 aces come up on the stage here with me? And Sean, come on up.